this episode is kind of sad. Seeing the slaves freed from slavery and then going back willingly to slavery, it's kind of sad because it's all they know. And I mean, the thing is, okay, if you grow up with a certain way, like if you grow up doing a certain specific thing your entire life for years upon years, and you finally, let's say, get freed from slavery, you're not going to know what to do. And that's kind of what this episode goes to show us. It throws in some realistic matters. I mean, obviously, if you grew up into slavery and you were born into slavery and you had this master that treated you, I guess, well in your eyes, because, I mean, you never lived a noble life. I mean, you've always lived as a slave, you wouldn't know any better. And to see how some of those people that were in slavery for a majority of their life for a long time, they went back to slavery after a given time, was because they didn't know what to do, because they didn't know what to do. They constantly had a roof over their head, and they were fed food. Even though it wasn't the best food, they were fed food. And so now seeing some stuff like this in this episode, I didn't expect that, especially in Arslan. I mean, I know the main themes of the series has been about slavery, but damn, the way it went into that in this episode is crazy. And it just goes to show you, I mean, even if you try to free slavery, it's not going to make everyone happy, even the slaves, because they might want to go back to slavery because they don't know what to do. And my thoughts on this matter, I've seen it in another series. I don't know what series it is, but I've seen it done in another series. I forget what series it is. It's a manga or anime. It was about 5 or 6 months ago. I think I saw it. But I think the way to kind of fix this is by freeing slaves. Free all the slaves, but set up some laws to where if people want to work underneath their masters, they get paid for it, and they can only work underneath their master for like a couple of years. Like, you can go and sign a contract with whoever you want, and then you can work for them for multiple years and be a slave, kind of, but you get paid for it. I think that would be the best way to kind of counter, you know, forced slavery or slavery that has nothing of value out of it, and it would add some form of growth and middle ground for both sides. But that's my thought on that. Besides completely abolishing it completely, like right off the table, it'll take some time to slowly make sure both sides understand what this really means to be free. And so I feel like that would be the perfect way to kind of start the laws of trying to completely get rid of slavery at first. So thing is, okay, the episode has it where Ulterior, he tries to plan some form of rebellion against the king, or, you know, he has an ulterior motive. That's a better way to describe it. He has an ulterior motive to where he wants to manipulate the king, Arslan, into marrying his daughter. And by marrying his daughter, if Arslan did, it would give him the rights to have more power when, you know, he's pressing things all over the country. For instance, like, oh, I want to do something over here, you better, you know, bow before me, or I want to get you beheaded, you know, because he has a lot of power since he has, like, his daughter married to the king. So that is kind of what the dude, Ulterior, was trying to do in this episode. He was trying to set up to where he was higher up in status, in noble status. That's kind of what he was doing. And it goes to show you how Arslan is going to have to deal with a lot of things like this throughout his entire journey, because even if you go to these noble castles and stuff that, you know, your father once reigned over, doesn't mean they're going to help you out, because they'll see a sign of weakness inside of the prince. They're like, oh, he doesn't have a wife yet. If I have a daughter, I could try to marry my daughter with him, and I can get some more power to the throne. And then you got even more questions that, like, you also have it to where the dude or anybody Arslan meets, he has to worry about this. He has to worry about people trying to use him to get higher up there and trying to make a corrupt system or a corrupt government. And, like, you know, trying not to remove slavery. That's kind of the main point that Arslan's trying to do. That's like his entire presidential campaign right now. Remove slavery. That's kind of what he's doing. And so if he gets these people beside him that back him up with a large force or money, but they don't want to abolish slavery, Arslan's going to be in a pickle. He just, it's going to be bad for him. It's going to be a bad day. So, I mean, that's kind of what this episode shows. I mean, Arslan needs to pick and choose his allies. He needs to know who he wants and who will stick with him when he tries to govern these laws of trying to remove slavery and find some form of middle ground between both parties. And that's kind of what this was. So, it's kind of a little bit like politics, actually. This episode is slightly like politics, showing how both sides need to be pleased before they're both happy, and also how people try to back you, but try to use their ulterior motive to get something out of it. That's kind of what's going on here. So yeah, I mean, episode of Arslan overall, I mean, action-wise, pretty damn good. I mean, I don't expect the best of action in Arslan, because mainly, to me, this series is more about politics and dialogue. That's how it is to me when I'm watching the series. But seeing some action's pretty fucking badass. Just seeing, you know, Daryun just going around cutting people up. Oh, fuck, dude. That's badass. That's, yo. So, yeah, I mean, episode... I liked it. I liked the episode. It was a good episode because it got its job done, especially for what it was trying to get its point across, showcasing what Arslan's going to have to deal with. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or not, wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.